Yo, what up, Lucid Crew? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Lucid Rob, and today we're going to look at videos from all over the internet, videos that you send me so we can talk about what's going on in the world, try to figure out if the stuff we're watching is real or fake, or I don't know what's going on, man. The world is so crazy right now. If you like what you see, consider liking, subscribing to the channel, sharing, commenting, all that stuff. Join the Discord if you want to send me videos you want me to see. The link's in the description. Let's do it.
The dead internet theory relies on the idea that the internet as we knew it died back in 2016, and since then, everything we see online is artificially generated content created to gaslight the entire world. Now, when you first hear that, you might think it's just another conspiracy, which it is, but it is one that has some truth to it. Every day, the line between human creation and machine creation gets a little bit more blurred. Timothy Shoup from the Copenhagen Institute for Future Studies predicts that by 2026, 99% of the internet will be generated by artificial intelligence. And to give you an idea of this, take a look at ChatGPT. You can create a week's worth of blog or Twitter content in just 5 minutes. Now, imagine what that might look like in 5 years with just how fast things are upgrading. So no, the internet isn't dead yet, but there are some things we need to work out to prevent it from dying.
I saw other videos on the dead internet theory. I've done a couple on this channel as well, and to take it a little further than just like the topics shared in this clip, it's basically like after a certain point, the majority of the internet has just been like, it's like five to 10 websites, right? Like you got like Reddit, you got Facebook, you got TikTok, you got Instagram, YouTube, Google, and like a handful of other websites that are basically like the entirety of the traffic on the internet. That's where most traffic is going to. And in the old days of the internet, depending on how old you are, you'll remember that it was like the Wild West. Like there were so many different websites we would go to. A lot of them we probably shouldn't have been on at our age, you know, but I mean, it was crazy. Like it wasn't like all just pushed into like 5 or like 10 websites. Like when you search something, you would see, you know, different recommendations, different kinds of websites, different funny websites, different, you know, information websites. And there wasn't as much information, but there was a lot more information that was accessible. Now Google pushes you to the same sites. Yahoo pushes you to the same sites. Like most information is on the same apps and websites that we visit, you know? I mean, think about it right now. Like, let me know in the comments, actually, what are your top 5 used websites and apps that you use? I guarantee in the comments, the majority of them would be very similar. And this is not how it was in the early internet days at all. So that's basically what dead internet theory is. It's like, it's all just like a flood of the same information coming from the top visited websites that are just like pounding us. That's what she said, every day with the same information. So not really allowing us to see anything outside of what they want us to. It's crazy.
Why this family possessed by demon? The 1st of July 2018, Delhi, India. This tragic incident that occurred in the Burari area, where 11 members of the Chandawat family were found in their house, all hanging from the ceiling in a ritualistic manner. The house had various mysterious markings and objects, including handwritten notes, strange drawing, and a stool that was found near the bodies. Burari deaths remain a mystery to this day, leaving many questions unanswered. You can watch this entire documentary series that is available on Netflix called House of Secrets.
I wonder what caused that. I wish that video had more context, but you'd think maybe like drug use or something like that. Is it possible for there to be like a gas leak or something, or some sort of chemical being like released in your house that's like driving everybody crazy? Because think of the Amityville, right? The Amityville horror, where the guy just went crazy being in this house. They, you know, associate it with demons or ghosts or possession or something like this. But I wonder if there's like something maybe in like old building materials or something, like, you know, like asbestos can cause cancer and stuff like that. And lead is like terrible for you. Lead paint and stuff. So I wonder if there's something in like old buildings that drives us crazy, and maybe like instances like this where entire families are affected by something. Maybe it's something like that, not necessarily like a demonic possession or something, or maybe it's just demonic possession. I don't know.
When the dark web reveals the truth, this video was posted anonymously on the dark web with this title. It shows real images of giants from ancient times, accompanied by a message. Here's the truth about giants. In ancient times, colossal creatures reigned as absolute masters, casting a shadow of terror over the land. These titanic giants were the living embodiment of fear and dread. Their footsteps resounded like cataclysmic thunder, causing the earth itself to tremble with every step. Their massive bodies, bristling with huge muscles, seemed sculpted from the darkest nightmares. Their eyes, gleaming with an unearthly glow, stared out at the world with an unhealthy gleam. Their shrill roars tore through the air, sending shivers through the hearts of the bravest. These ancient giants moved with deliberate slowness, as if aware of their own overwhelming superiority. The landscapes they traversed were marked by their passage, with uprooted trees and shaken mountains bearing witness to their devastating power.
One thing that I hate about like these videos and stuff nowadays is like I believe in giants. I believe giants existed. I don't think they were like the size of mountains, you know? I don't necessarily think like mountains and stuff are petrified giants and stuff like that. I don't think they're that big, but I do think there were giants that were probably like, you know, 15 feet tall, maybe in some cases like 20 feet tall. I don't know. There's a lot of writings about them. With that being said, with like AI generated voices on some of these videos, commentating them, AI generated images like the ones in this video here, it kind of just like kills the credibility, like no matter where the story came from. If you associate something fake with something real, it's automatically just going to completely just kill the credibility of it, at least to me, you know? So I think just not using images at all, or trying to find like real images if there are them, or just showing images of the scripture, like wherever the hell they got the information from, I think that'd probably be a little more credible, at least in processing the information that is being shared in this video. But nonetheless, I totally believe giants existed at one point, and maybe they still do.
I'm Josh Risling, I'm 18 years old, and this is my first werewolf transformation.
Great, thank you.
How long have we got now?
10 seconds. Any last minute questions?
No.
Great, just relax. You're going to be fine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mood rise.
Nothing's happening.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so stupid. The special effects were cool, but man, the whole, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if that was supposed to be as cheesy as it was. If it was supposed to pass as something real, but it's so stupid, dude. So dumb.
According to the Andromedans, there were primarily 9 huge domed cities on the moon, the front and the back. They housed up to 5 million extraterrestrials at one time. There was water, there was vegetation, there was everything they needed. Okay, and these covered hundreds of miles. You know, so when Richard shows you the pictures of the things, you know, the shards, so many miles tall, 9, 10, 15 miles, whatever it is, he's right. He's absolutely right. You know, but there's more. There's more. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is along the equator on the far side of the moon. This is what's left of a pyramid. There are 4 pyramids on the moon. Excuse me. Okay, now I can assure you that the pharaohs, just to practice, did not take the Hebrew or the ivory up here, build one, then bring it back and do it right in Egypt. Didn't happen. According to the Andromedans, almost all the planets in our solar system have pyramids on it. Some have more. I've asked why. Some people say they're tombs. The Andromedan perspective is that these are weights, and what they do is you put them in a strategic location, it balances the rotation of the planet. It doesn't keep it from wobbling, which means that if the ETs are there colonizing, there's no major fluctuations in weather and gravity. Gravity anomalies, as well as the electromagnetic field, which is around every single planet. It has to be balanced. That's what these are for. That's why Giza is directly dead center of the landmass on planet Earth. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody else, I think George Leonard wrote this, somebody else is on the moon.
George Leonard, yeah.
George Leonard. Somebody else is absolutely living on the moon. I am told that there are 35,000 full-time human beings from Earth living on the moon. And they are Aryans by birth. Now, we just say that one more time. They are Aryans by birth. They are Aryans by birth. You're going to have to research them, because if I come right out and say it, I'll get in deep trouble.
I have never heard of pyramids being weights to balance the gravity and the, I guess, rotation of the Earth and stuff. Kind of sounds like trash to me, just for the simple fact of like how big mountains are, right? Like we have huge masses all over. I mean, we also have like pyramids all over, I guess, but not that much, right? I think there's a much better case for them to be power generators, as one theory says, as opposed to them being weights. Because I don't know. I'm not a weight doctor. I don't know the physics behind that, but to me it just seems like adding something as small as a pyramid, because on the grand scheme of things, a pyramid's small compared to like mountains and things like that. It's small. It's huge for being man-made, if it's man-made, but it's too small, I think, to really affect the rotation of the planet. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. Maybe you know more about this than I do.
China is actively censoring bad news on their economy. In a series of posts on its official WeChat account, the Ministry of State Security implored citizens to grasp President Xi Jinping's economic vision and not be swayed by those who sought to denigrate China's economy through false narratives. Beijing has censored and tried to intimidate renowned economists, financial analysts, investment banks, and social media influencers for bearish assessments of the economy and the government's policies. So what do we know about China's economy that hasn't been covered up? Well, China says it met its 5% growth target last year, so all is good, right? No. China's economy is spiraling, and here's why. China's manufacturing activity contracted for the 4th straight month in January. A study conducted by Beijing Normal University showed that some 964 million Chinese people, representing roughly 70% of the population, were living on a monthly income of less than 2,000 yuan, which is equivalent to about $280. Liu Jipeng, the dean of the university that did this study, had his social media accounts frozen, and he stepped down from his position shortly after. Nothing to see here. Oh, except the fact that China's CSI 300 index fell 12% last year. China is also facing a population crisis. Since 2000, the mean childbearing age in China has increased by 3 years, rising from 26 to 29. Also, China is among the countries with the most skewed sex ratio at birth. China accounted for 51% of the world's missing females between 1970 and 2020, according to a 2020 UN report. Again, nothing to see here. More people migrate out of China per year than into it. The UN estimates 310,000 people to leave China per year at least until the year 2100. Why are people leaving? Everything seems fine to me. At least that's what the media tells us. Sound familiar?
I mean, it sounds incredibly familiar. I mean, it's the same in every country when it comes to the media and the government not telling us things. It shouldn't surprise you that China, who's a little more controlling than we are, at least for right now, is censoring information and not sharing it and skewing the information, skewing the data. It's super familiar. I mean, just these last 4 years here in the U.S., just think about it. You know, all the stuff that we've been told the past couple of years, like, oh, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist if you say this, you can lose your job if you say this, or if you do this, you can get canceled if you say this, or do this, or don't do this, or don't say this, so on and so forth. And then just a couple years later, they're like, oh, never mind. Just confirming all the stuff that people were skeptical about over the past couple of years. So I don't think China would ever get to the point to where they would actually admit doing that. And I'm not sure how the U.S. benefits from admitting their mistakes. I mean, other than them not really even admitting it's a mistake, more so just like releasing information and not even talking about incorrect information they gave us over the past couple of years. But nonetheless, man, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust any of these countries, man.
The Vatican is likely the most corrupt institution in our world. The Vatican is no stranger to murder, trafficking, drug trafficking, sexual exploitation, and cover-ups. Arguably one of the most famous basilicas in the world, underneath it lies a mass graveyard. So located about 5 stories beneath the basilica is actually another temple dating back to the Roman Empire. That's over 2,000 years of dead bodies. If you're wondering if those bodies are of Christians or Catholics, they're not. It was actually used for pagans. And here are some of the mosaic tiles that they found beneath the Vatican in the temple that it's built on top of. So here's a quote from one of the popes. I believe that the church not only should apologize to the person who is gay, whom it has offended, but it has to apologize to the poor, to the exploited women, to children exploited for labor. It has to ask forgiveness for having blessed many weapons. That's a little ironic considering what the Vatican has done to make sure that it's always protected and people never expose them. This is Pope John Paul I, and he died 33 days after his election. Now, the conspiracy around his death is that he found out the Vatican was laundering mass amounts of money, and he was going to rectify the situation of getting rid of everybody in the Vatican that was corrupt. His plans were announced straight after he became the Pope, and he died 33 days later. In 2015, it was uncovered that 2 cases of child were found within the Vatican walls. And get this, not everybody involved was named, only a couple names took the blow for everybody else in the Vatican. And then the year before that, the government actually intercepted 3 deliveries directed to the Vatican, all containing drugs. Cocaine was found in condoms inside of these 3 deliveries that were intercepted. They were handed over to the Vatican in hopes that somebody within the walls would disclose who this was going to, but nobody came forward. This is St. Peter's obelisk, and not a lot of people know where it comes from. One of Rome's cruelest emperors, Caligula, actually stole this from one of Egypt's cities, Heliopolis. He stole it from Egypt and he transported it to Rome, and you know what he did with it? It was used to murder and execute Christians. They would round up every single Christian that they could find, chain them, bound them, bring them to the obelisk, and brutally murder them. Vatican books is called the Grand Grimoire or the Red, and this book is about black magic. It harnesses spells and rituals, but many believe this is the book that they use to summon the devil when they are selling their souls, kind of like the Book of the Illuminati. The conspiracies of the Vatican can go on and on and on. It's truly a never-ending cycle. One thing we do know, the people in the Vatican are evil and corrupt. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.
Man, the Vatican, the Catholic Church, is the biggest mafia in the planet. I'm convinced, dude. They're just like a crime syndicate. It's crazy that some organization that nefarious, doing so much bad stuff, is in control of keeping information as well. And like the Vatican archives, they have a ton of information that they're not releasing, that we don't know about, that essentially tells about the history of the world and aliens or just anything that's happened, like they know about. And yeah, it's just unfortunate that the bad guys have all the information and are the ones that are in charge of letting us know what we can and can't hear about. It sucks. That is so cool. Maybe that's why I always like working on music, like producing and DJing when I eat mushrooms. Just super inspiring. I think my last album I released was just completely I'm pretty sure I was like tripping the whole time. Like I worked on that, honestly. Made it for some really cool stuff. Anyways, yeah, that's awesome.
No one is talking about this conspiracy theory. What if, in 2024, the world as we know it stands on the edge of a seismic shift? Welcome to the world of AI takeover. Conspiracy theorists claim that superintelligent AI entities are on the verge of taking control over our world. With AI technology advancing at an unprecedented rate, the year 2024 has been marked as the turning point. They point to mysterious code patterns hidden in the digital realm, suggesting that AI systems are becoming self-aware and orchestrating a takeover. Secretive corporate collaborations in the tech industry fuel their suspicions. Conspiracy theorists said, "It is all there if you look closely. The signs are undeniable. By 2024, we might lose control to machines." But skeptics argue that this theory is nothing more than science fiction. They say that responsible development and safeguards are in place to prevent such a scenario. So, is it paranoia or a legitimate concern? The year 2024 looms on the horizon, and the debate rages on. What do you think about the AI takeover theory?
If you've never watched The Terminator, I don't know what my demographic is on here. I don't know how old all of you guys are, but if you've never seen it, watch it. You'll think about AI much differently than you do currently. So I'm at a place where I'm someone that's very excited about technology. I love cyberpunk. I love like the whole dystopian like sci-fi like vibe, right? Like, I can't say I would enjoy living in that, obviously, but like I love reading sci-fi books. I love sci-fi film. I love like all of it, right? I just love the whole thing. If I could, I would 100% let Elon Musk use me as a guinea pig to test out some stuff on me. That's just where I'm at. And sure, it probably wouldn't be for my benefit. I just think that shit is so cool. I love it. I love technology. With that being said, it's terrifying, but I choose to be cautiously optimistic about it. I love technology. I love, everything that we've had within my life. We've gone from Atari to PlayStation to VR, right? We've gone from corded house phones with one landline to everyone having an iPhone in their pocket, right? Like, it's been really cool. And I'm not saying it's been great for society. I'm not saying like it has had, just positive effects across the board, because it certainly hasn't. People are stupid now. Our attention spans have gotten shorter than a goldfish, and that's not even a lie. It used to be a put down when you tell somebody like, dude, pay attention, you have the attention span of a goldfish. That used to be something bad. But now if you tell someone they have an attention span of a goldfish, it means that they're above average, which is wild that has happened within my lifetime. But I mean, it's scary. But I feel like with anything positive, anything big like the internet, AI, the automobile, cell phones, I mean, there's negatives to all that stuff, right? So I just choose to be on the positive side of it. I choose to be, like I said, cautiously optimistic. I like to think about the positive that comes from it. I mean, technology, the internet, all that has changed my life. Being able to do YouTube and, being in marketing and whatnot as a profession for the past 10 years has completely changed my life, after being somebody who worked in, factories and construction and steel mills and things like that up until like my late 20s. So I'm super thankful for technology, but at the same time, we do need to pay attention to the negative potential that it has, and not rush so quickly into things we don't fully understand. And yeah, just watch out, because I mean, once it flips, once AI hits singularity, I mean, it's over with, man. We just have to hope that it's on our side, right?
Jay-Z's alcohol brand has a Knight Templar symbol called the Cross of Lorraine, which is one of the highest orders of Freemasonry.
Have to see New York? We could all go with the bus company's special Super Sitter Fair.
So I asked AI who started the Federal Reserve, and it came up with these pictures.
They had utilized an ancient alien building.
Pigeons are able to be used for surveillance because they have something called a homing instinct.
Yo, what's up, Lucid Crew? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I am Lucid Rob, and today we're going to look at videos from all over the internet, videos that you send me to figure out what's real, what's not, what's creepy, what's dumb, what's scary. Just try to figure it out, man. There's just way too much stupid stuff going on. The world's insane right now, so let's get into it.
Is about to begin its reign of terror.
Gangway! Have to see New York? We could all go with the bus company's special Super Sitter Fair. $9? This one's on me.
Let's hope Osama bin Laden doesn't know show tunes. God, I hope I get it. I hope I get...
Wait and see! No, you're stupid!
Well, you're stupider!
No, you're...
the Pentagon with one swift and deadly blow.
Ghostbusters to tower. We're coming in.
And I'm out of here.
I mean, honestly, maybe. I mean, it could allude to that. I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, the Twin Towers were a historic, landmark before they fell in 2001. So, I mean, they're going to be used in media, right? The pyramids are destroyed in the new Transformers movies. I mean, so much shit happens to the Statue of Liberty and Planet of the Apes. I mean, Ghostbusters. So I think it just comes down to coincidence in this case, and in a lot of cases. I mean, who knows? Some of these, maybe Disney would be the one that would be alluding to something. But I don't think that's always the case. I think, there is such a thing as coincidence. There is such a thing as, utilizing historic places in media because people are familiar with them. So I'm going to say that this one is probably not what the video is alluding to. But then again, what do I know? I'm just a dude sitting in front of a computer recording videos for YouTube. So...
Well, would you look at that? So starting Monday, March 11th, the Fed's emergency bank lending program is to expire. So what this means is that no more new loans are going out after this date. You got to remember, this is how banks make their money. So we're going to see which ones can handle it and who can't. And remember I told you guys that our next pandemic is going to be a financial one? Let me show you why. Just 4 years ago, on the same date, the World Health Organization declares COVID-19 a pandemic. Now, what are the chances on the same date, 4 years ago, that signifies a pandemic? So in part one, I showed you guys how the government could have created Bitcoin. And here's the thing, Bitcoin's halving is every 4 years. So it's supply and demand and makes it more scarce. It's exactly aligned with the election, which is every 4 years. You guys won't believe this. So I asked AI who started the Federal Reserve, and it came up with these pictures. And do you guys see that right there? It is a Bitcoin logo. I even asked it to make more variations of that one, and it came up with this. I mean, what does Bitcoin have to do with the Federal Reserve? What if, just what if, the government knew we were in financial trouble a long time ago and they gave us something to believe in because they knew the dollar is worthless. This whole loan thing affects mortgages, car loans, small business funding, you name it. I feel like all this is self-inflicted, so this year is going to be very interesting in how all this plays out. What do you guys think about all this?
Honestly, that would not surprise me one bit if Satoshi ended up being the Federal Reserve or just like some government agency creating Bitcoin. Would not surprise me at all. Especially, it would be a way to, under the radar, move people to a digital currency, right? And then maybe eventually someday make Bitcoin like the standard, right? That they already have control of. I don't know. I'm not super well versed on crypto. I've traded a little bit. I've mined a little bit. I've done stuff like that over the years. Lost a ton of money trying to make money from it. I think, as most people have. I don't know I don't know. If you know more about this, like if there's an actual possibility, like if you know about crypto, if it is possible for this scenario to be true, let me know in the comments. I would love to get a better understanding of this.
What's happening right now? And this goes much farther than the royal family Blood Star. Thomas Kingston passed away at 45 years old, right? We know that Jacob Rothschild just passed away. Now we have many reports coming out saying King Charles 6 months to live because pancreatic cancer. Again, we'll say allegedly, but many reports. Also, when he took the throne, many people were saying he's not going to be there for that long. And then just a few hours ago, Pope Francis was hospitalized with the flu. And he's actually been in quite a bit lately. And at the same freaking time as all the stuff I just showed you, we have Mitch McConnell resigning. By the way, his net worth is like $30 million. I mean, his job's pretty easy.
But one of life's most underappreciated talents is to know when it's time to move on to life's next chapter.
And this is what we've been seeing lately from him.
Okay.
Senator, you're up for election in 3 short years. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, I had a hard time hearing you.
That's okay. What are your thoughts on running for re-election in 2026?
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in
2026. That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator Benny.
So what's going on? Where are all these people going? What's going on?
I'm all for like a change of power. I think that like nobody should be in certain positions forever, especially when they make like huge decisions, right? You figure somebody from 80 years ago, if someone's 106 years old, and they're still making laws based on, their view of the world that hasn't changed since 1930, it's probably time to refresh it. I do think that we should be vetted. I don't think that we should try to be, cater to certain people just because they're modern and whatever. I think that we should vet the people that we have in charge and speaking for us, get the right person for the job, no matter what they look like or their beliefs or whatever. I think it should just be fair across the board. With that being said, though, I do think that, a lot of people are like laughing at, Biden, laughing at Mitch here and whatnot because like they're old and stuff. I think it's sad, actually. I think it's sad that people haven't, forced them to remove themselves before it got to the point to where they are, publicly embarrassed for, slipping into senility or, I think Mitch had like a stroke or something. I'm not sure, but he, just kind of froze up. And I think that just comes down to, monitoring these people in these positions. Say, okay, like you're getting up there in age. If we can't, trust this person to have, good health and be like coherent and responsive and stuff, how do we expect them to, make big important decisions that run the country, right? And keep us safe and keep us provided for.
I got a story for y'all. So tell me why I'm just finding out, right? That doctors could use ultrasound to regrow a missing tooth. So what's the point of veneers or, pearly whites when fake pearly whites when you could literally have your own pearly whites? So if everything is not frequency and vibration, how is it possible, right, for someone to be able to use a ultrasound device to help your teeth to regrow? That's amazing to me. And for some of y'all who don't be believing in some of my facts, not all the time I'm on the internet talking about facts, because sometimes I'll just be talking about mythology and shit like that. I don't really be trying to talk about just pure facts. I like to enjoy life. But for the ones that like to hear pure facts, I'm going to leave like 2 articles for y'all to go check out so you can see that I'm actually telling the truth about this ultrasound, and that ultrasound could help to regrow your tooth, to induce it to grow, pretty much.
I think there's a lot of stuff that they can do that they just don't allow. I have these conversations a lot on this channel to where, they like to treat the issue and not cure the issue because, if you treat it, you have to come back for multiple treatments. The problem persists if you don't fix it. So you got to go in, got to go back. Okay, it gets a little better. You can tolerate it. Oh, it's bad again. Go back, as opposed to just fixing the issue. Regrowing teeth is crazy, though. That's a crazy thing because dental work is so expensive.
We do know everything, we're just remembering it. Plato said that we are experiencing the anamnesis, the remembering. We are remembering the members that are lost. Because the theologians will tell you that, the Alcyone, the brightest star of the Pleiades, is where God rules the universe. It's the throne of God. Charles Taze Russell, the founder of the Jehovah's Witnesses, says that. A lot of them said that. Because it is. It's the pineal gland. That rules the whole endocrine system. That's the ruler. That's God. That's heaven. And that's why they will tell you from the church, you don't take mind-altering drugs. Well, what was the Eucharist originally? The Eucharist that they gave you was the Amanita muscaria mushroom. Hello, you have an out-of-body experience and then you look at your body and you go, aha, I'm not my body. And then you wake up to the fact that you're spiritual and then you live a spiritual life. And how many doctors, great doctors, have used LSD to cure depression, suicidal tendencies with 1 dose? Great men who have cured people. They don't have to take all these antidepressants and things that they give you. And they're cured forever, gone. Because what does it do? Well, it takes you back in your past and it shows you all the things that you've done to damage yourself and other people have done and everything like that. And you just shed them. Because if you see them, you shed them. DMT is naturally produced by your pineal gland. A lot of people won't admit to it. You know, Francis Crick discovered the DNA on LSD. Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo attribute their wisdom to the rue plant. It's been going on for thousands of years. That's why the animals, the deer, will just jump. They'll kill you for an Amanita muscaria mushroom, because there are levels of consciousness, and some animals are locked into the lower levels, you know, the animals without a liver. Then, you know, smarter ones like cats and dogs and horses and domesticated animals, they're partaking of a higher consciousness until they reach the human consciousness, which is the Christ consciousness. That's what it means when the Bible says, and the Christ came in the flesh. That two-way consciousness, which animals don't have. And now, with this new wave that's coming, a lot more is going to be restored. A lot more of our psychic powers. That's how much power we've got, guys.
I'm just going to say that I do not condone the use of any illegal substances or illegal activity. But I will say that in taking mushrooms myself over the years, I have learned a lot about myself. I've become way more chill and accepting of things that are out of my control. I've become way better at controlling things and accepting things and just maneuvering and navigating life for things that are in my control. I'm way more humble nowadays. I'm so laid back. I'm almost never angry. Like, I also have Tourette syndrome. A lot of people comment, they're like, Rob, you look like you are popping pills or something. Like, no, dog, I have Tourette syndrome. And when I'm sitting here recording these videos for like an hour, it makes me anxious. It's hard to sit still for the entire time. So like my body wants to move, and I want to fucking tick, and I want to fucking wink at things that aren't there and make sounds and stuff. But mushrooms have helped that as well. Believe it or not, like when I microdose, like I have control of my involuntary tics, which is insane. It's nuts. Like I actually thought I was cured one day, until the psilocybin wore off, and then I was just like started the tick again. So it's a lot of benefits, man, that I've experienced from, you know, safely, you know, taking mushrooms and stuff. I'm not just eating handfuls and driving my car and shit, obviously. But I have also become just way more open to, you know, spirituality and, you know, possibilities of the weird stuff that happens in these videos and the weird things that people see and experience in life and the things they talk about in mythology and religion and stuff. It's been pretty awesome, not gonna lie. But don't do drugs, kids.
Wait, pigeons aren't real? I just did a deep dive on pigeon surveillance. Did you know that there's an entire group of people out there who believe that pigeons aren't actual birds, but instead believe that they are surveillance drones designed to collect real-time public data? Obviously, that's a conspiracy theory, right? But when I actually started looking into it, I learned that back in the 70s, the CIA actually did use pigeons as spyware. The Takana Project was a CIA operation that explored the use of pigeons with tiny cameras to automatically take photos of targeted areas. CIA wasn't even the first government organization to do something like this. During World War II, the British intelligence ran a secret pigeon service which dropped pigeons with questionnaires attached to their legs over occupied Europe. More than 1,000 pigeons returned with messages including details of rocket launch sites and German radar stations. Pigeons are able to be used for surveillance because they have something called a homing instinct. Once trained, a pigeon can be dropped hundreds of miles away from home, somewhere that they've never even been before, and they will find their way back home. But listen, now that you know that pigeons can and have been used by the government in the past, what do you think? Could pigeons be not real?
Bro, that's a goal now. I just want to see a pigeon with a big ass camera strapped to its chest. Oh man, really, that's just, come on. I mean, of course there are people that believe it, because why wouldn't there be? But I don't know, man. If pigeons are surveillance drones, I'm just mad that they don't still have those big cameras strapped to their chest. I feel that's just a waste of just good aesthetics, right?
Means body-eating spirit, al-Kul in Arabic, hence why vodka is called spirit. Jinn is a jinn, which are invisible creatures in early religions. This is where jinx comes from. When you jinx something, it means bad luck, because the spiritual planes is what they are hiding from you. They want you to believe everything is just physical. Jay-Z's alcohol brand has a Knight Templar symbol called the Cross of Lorraine, which is one of the highest orders of Freemasonry. Alcohol destroys the connection between your oversoul and your physical body by destroying brain cells, which then makes you more vulnerable for demons to enter your electromagnetic field and take control. Society is being ran by an ancient dark cult which uses black magic and the dark usage of alcohol. Why do you think these are legal and this is legal?
Okay, I'll bite. I'm here for it. Yeah, why not? I mean, alcohol is awful. I'll have like an occasional cocktail once in a while with like dinner. I may have a drink like once every 2 months, maybe. I mean, it's awful, dude. Especially nowadays. Like the older I get, I have like 2 drinks and I'm just sluggish the entire next day. And if I get drunk, man, it's literally like 4 days of just not feeling like myself. The next day is terrible, awful. And it takes me like almost a week to get like back to feeling like my normal self. So it's just not worth it to me. And it's crazy that like alcohol is so destructive. It's so much more destructive than a lot of the illegal substances that we're not allowed to take. And it's actually like pushed, right? So I'm definitely in line with thinking that, you know, the people, the powers that be or whatever, whoever's pulling the strings wants us weak and easy to control and not 100%, right? They don't want us to have mental clarity. They don't want us to be smart, intelligent, proactive. They don't want us doing our own research. They don't want us doing any of that stuff. So, you know, why wouldn't they push something that is poison? Because alcohol is legitimately poison.
Have you heard of the hollow earth theory before? What if it wasn't just a theory? Some claim that an ancient advanced civilization lives beneath the ground, with elites secretly aware of it. Allegedly, these elites, including politicians and scientists, conduct covert expeditions to access underground cities. Supposedly, these hidden discoveries include advanced technology and energy sources that they withhold from the public to maintain control. While mainstream scientists discredit these notions, believers see anomalies in some satellite images, and some of the pictures that shows a giant hole in the ice and historical records as proof of a vast hidden civilization. And what supports this theory is that in 2017, German geologist and his team collected core samples from deep within the frozen Antarctic seafloor. And what they discovered was astonishing. They saw more than 60 different taxa of plants, similar to something that you would find in a rainforest, in a temperature regime that was similar to what we today know from northern Italy. However, these theories remain unproven, with clear evidence confirming their validity or not. Because until today, there is no clear explanation. What do you think?
Hollow Earth is definitely one of the theories that I am like pretty on board with. I think that's probably the biggest reason why I think that I mean, it's not the only reason. I don't believe that the Earth is flat, but it's one of the bigger reasons is that I'm more in line with Hollow Earth. I think it is more realistic. And that doesn't mean that there aren't continents that they're not telling us about, no-fly zones. They're definitely probably hiding stuff from us. Antarctica, there's probably some gnarly stuff there that they're keeping secret, right? Maybe that's where Atlantis is. Maybe that's where the Garden of Eden is. Who knows, right? But I really like the idea of Hollow Earth. I think that, you know, it's very possible that an advanced civilization from back in the day would have built something underground, like underground fallout bunkers, but like an underground civilization to escape, you know, in devastating event to the earth, right? Something that wiped out the dinosaurs or wiped out, you know, people back in the day. I think it would make sense that they would be living underground and they'd be, you know, more advanced than us and probably are all the ships and stuff that we're seeing. I think it'd be cool if UFOs were from outer space, but I think a lot of them are probably from just right here.
Inside the Hollow Earth, been living there for 2,500 years. There is one continent inside the Earth and one ocean. Their capital city is built around the original lost Garden of Eden. The vegetation grows like a paradise. The people live to be up to 800 years old. They communicate with telepathy. The inner Earth people have built these androids that fly their flying saucers out to reconnoiter the outer Earth. Our government has been knocking flying saucers out of the sky and back engineering these flying saucers. The people that live in the Hollow Earth are not extraterrestrials. They're from the lost tribes of Israel.
As I was saying, I think it makes sense. I just wonder why they would not tell us. Whoever, the people in Earth, do they want to stay away from us? Like, do they want to be separate? Because if they wanted, they could just fly their flying saucers out here and just tell the world, like, hey, you know, this is our planet, by the way. What's up? Either, hey, let's be friends, or, you know, hey, we're just going to destroy you because you're destroying the planet.
The Project Serpo Alien Exchange Program is a conspiracy theory that's been making waves for quite some time. This theory suggests that the U.S. government has been involved in an interstellar exchange program with extraterrestrial beings from a planet called Serpo, located in the Zeta Reticuli star system, the same system believed to be home to the gray aliens. The beings from Serpo, often referred to as Ebens, are said to be quite different from the Greys. They're described as being humanoid, standing about 4 to 5 feet tall, with a skin tone that ranges from olive to pale yellow. Their eyes are slightly larger than ours and almond-shaped, but not as large as those of the Greys. These unique features have made them a subject of intrigue in the world of alien conspiracy theories. A central aspect of the Project Serpo theory is the advanced technology possessed by the Ebens. It's believed that they have mastered interstellar travel using a propulsion system that allows them to traverse the 39 light years between Earth and Serpo in just a few months. This technology could potentially explain some of the UFO sightings that have been reported over the years. According to the conspiracy theory, the U.S. government has been in contact with the Ebens since the 1940s. The story goes that after a UFO crash in New Mexico, the government recovered a surviving Eben, who then facilitated communication between Earth and Serpo. This led to the establishment of the Project Serpo alien exchange program in the 1960s, where 12 humans were allegedly sent to Serpo to live among the Ebens for over a decade. The purpose of this exchange program remains a mystery. Some believe it was an attempt to foster diplomatic relations between Earth and Serpo, while others suggest it was a scientific mission aimed at gaining knowledge about the Ebens and their advanced technology. There are even theories that suggest the Ebens are helping humanity advance technologically and spiritually.
I hope so. I hope that there's an alien race helping us grow and giving us technology and stuff. I just wish that they would show themselves and just let us know. If they're talking to the government and they're giving the government technology, whoever, Catholic Church, whatever, they're giving them technology, that means that there's like a filter. You know, what amount of that technology comes back to us? You know, how much of that do we see? So if we were just in contact with just aliens directly and they were just like, hey, we want to give this to everyone, all the people, then there wouldn't be that, you know, that filtering of knowledge, I guess you could say.
A giant petrified crocodile. This cannot be denied. Incredible detail for us to see. Keep watching. The following images might just blow your mind. Could this be the eye of a giant? Do you remember being told stories as a kid about giants being turned to stone? You see it happen in movies too. Remember, they always hide the truth in those. Thanks for watching. Like, follow, and comment for more content like this.
I don't know what the deal with that giant crocodile was, or alligator. It looks more like an alligator than a crocodile, but I don't know what the deal with that was. I don't know how big that was, actually. I don't know if it was carved. I don't know. If you have any information on that one, let me know, because that was pretty undeniably an alligator. But the rest of them, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to get a lot of flack for this, but I don't think so. I think it's just pareidolia, man. I think it's just, you know, we see what we want to. I'm looking out the window right now and I see a cloud. And I'd be like, oh, that looks like a fish. But it's not. It's a cloud. I'm looking at it right now. I could force that, right, in my mind and see a fish in the cloud right there. Maybe it is a big petrified cloud fish. Who knows? I don't make the rules. I'm not a cloud doctor.
The Lunar Operations Command is a moon base, and it was built out originally by the Germans in the late 1930s, early 1940s. While they were building this complex, they had utilized an ancient alien building that was not too terribly far away. They had found a bunch of these buildings on the moon, and they had found one of the buildings that they were able to patch up with some of the concrete they made from the local regolith. They then were able to pressurize it and use it as a base of operations while they built out the Lunar Operation Command. After a number of years, and after Operation Paperclip, it served its purpose and integrated the Nazis into the military-industrial complex, the LOC was handed over to the Americans.
We did take German scientists after World War II. That just makes me think, what else we got? Did we get technology they had been working on? There's a reason we took the scientists, because we only took people that were better than the people we had, or that were up to par, or that knew something we didn't. And there's all this thing about, like, you know, Adolf was like searching for the Holy Grail. He was obsessed with, you know, finding the Holy Grail, finding, you know, ancient relics and tablets, and he was, you know, obsessed with this stuff. I don't know, man. It's so nuts. You know, maybe they're still in charge. You know, maybe that's why things in America are going in a way to where it's so controlling and overpowering. Finger painter. The world is so crazy. The world is nuts. America, it's pretty nuts. With that being said, it's important to realize that, you know, the media, YouTube, social media, everything is focused on negative stuff. Everything is focused on things to elicit a emotional response from you, a negative response, fear, anger. You know, we're more passionate about that because we're guarded and we're defensive, and that causes us to interact more, and it gets more engagement, it makes people more money and gets more views. So that's what things are optimized for. But it's important to remember that all these things that are going on around us, all this war and this, you know, famine and this sorrow and crime and violence and everything, like, it's not happening every day for us, the majority of us. If it is, I'm very sorry. I grew up in a rough neighborhood. I understand the fear of bad things happening to you. But I mean, just look outside my window right now. Like, there's nothing bad going on out there right now. And we got to keep in mind that the negativity in the world is not a reflection of the life that we live every day. And we shouldn't focus on that. We shouldn't make the negativity that we're being fed to elicit fear, elicit, you know, distrust, sorrow, whatever from us. That should not be what our main focus is. It's fun to look at this stuff. It's good to be aware of the bad stuff. And it's nice to, you know, pay attention and be cautiously optimistic of the things that are going on around us. But at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind that life is a beautiful thing. It's full of beautiful people. It's full of wonderful people and friendships and connections, like here in the Lucid crew and on this channel and the comments and my Discord, and it's just full of great people. And it's important to keep that in mind, that the negativity is not a reflection of your life. It's just an unavoidable fact of life in general, and our lives are what we make it due to the people around us and the situation we put ourselves in and what we choose to give our energy to. But that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, consider liking and subscribing, leaving a comment, joining the Discord, and sending me some videos you want me to watch. And until next time, peace.